Hi, I hope that you're having an amazing day. I want to talk to you about a topic that came up at a meeting I had at work earlier this week. It is about adaptive resilience. Adaptive resilience. What that means is that we have the ability to persevere in the midst of adversity. Adaptive resilience, the ability to persevere in the midst of adversity. We are going to run up against things that are not going our way, or the way that we want them to go, or the way that they were expected to go. And your ability to adapt in that gives you the resilience to continue to move forward. I do a good bit of traveling, air travel especially. And as you know, recently there's been a lot going on in the airlines. And I have, with flight delays and people not getting on flights being canceled. I mean, just a lot of things. But I have found that when I've traveled, and I've probably lost more frequent flyer miles than I've used. I mean, I've done a lot of traveling in the last 32 years of air travel I've been doing for work and for ministry stuff. But I know this to be true. You have a decision to make every moment how you are going to respond to whatever is happening in the moment. That thing that was supposed to happen a certain way didn't go your way, and now you have a choice how you're going to respond. And you can either complain about it and stay in it and become a victim to it, or you can say, okay, this is where we are right now, and it happened. We acknowledge that it happened. Where are we going from there? So I want to give you just some questions that you can ask yourself in the moment. If you're struggling in a situation that is not going your way, didn't expect to happen, and now you feel that you're stuck. And hopefully by answering these questions, they'll help you to get unstuck. You can even journal it. I have a notes app that I usually write things down in, so you can do that as well. How do you persevere through the unexpected? Here are 4 questions to ask yourself. Where have I been? This is where I've been. This is everything that's happened to me. And I'm using the airlines because I recently had an experience with that, where I had a flight that didn't go well. It was canceled within 2 hours. My connecting flight canceled within 2 hours of me getting on my original flight. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it out or not. And I had a place to be. I already had an itinerary scheduled once I got on the ground. And it was frustrating for me in the moment. And I thought, okay, this is where I've been. This is the situation I'm in. This is everything that's led up to this. This is everything that I've done to prepare for here. This is where I've been. The second question is, what can I do to control this situation? Or let me back out of that. The second question is, why am I here? I know where I've been. Why am I here? What did I do or not do that's put me here? What has happened external to me that, or has not happened external to me that has me here? Why am I here? For me, in my airline situation, I had already had everything scheduled, had my boarding passes, everything was confirmed. So I did everything that I needed to do, but this whole flight has canceled. There's like almost 180 people on a flight now that's not going to get to where they're going. So it's not just me. It's a whole group of them. So I don't want to make this all about me. This is just the situation that I'm in. This is why I am here. The third question is, what can I control? Listen, we're in control of a lot of things. I can control my emotional state. I can control what I say. I can control what I can do. I cannot control the airline. I can control the conversation as best as I can so that I don't frustrate somebody on the other line and then they not help me, right? You don't want to tick those people off. But at the same time, you are frustrated. So what can I control? When I was talking to this reservation agent that I called in for, I had a choice. I could wait until I get to the airport and see what was going to happen with the connecting flight, or I could go ahead and call the airline right now. I made the choice to call the airline right then and there and not wait the 25 minutes until I got to the airport. And I said, hey, I just got this. What can we do? And before you go in, I go into all these details and you tell me all this other stuff. I just want to let you know, I have 2 airports I can drive to. I can drive to this airport in this amount of time. I can drive to this other airport in this amount of time. If that helps with you trying to get me on another flight today, that would be great. And they were appreciative that I gave them as much information as I could, but I didn't belabor the whole mess that I'm in and the reason why I'm there, because it's not their fault either. Okay, there's people beyond them causing this issue. So for me to wallow in my victimization of how I had all this stuff going on and it's all their fault, it's not helping me to move forward. I know where I've been. I know where I am. Now I need to know what I can control, because we've got to move on from here. Adaptive resilience. The 4th question, where am I going? At that moment, I didn't know, but I was willing to do what was in my power and scope to do. And I am on the phone with somebody who now has the control to do that. They came back on and they said, hey, we can get you out today, but you're going to have to spend the night in either Austin, Texas, or Los Angeles. You will not make it to your destination until the next day. Our recommendation is that you go ahead and book. We move you to tomorrow and we protect your seat. We can't protect the flight. It may get canceled. There's a lot going on right now. But we are willing to at least protect your seat, meaning you don't have to fly standby on anything. I said, please do. So I'm getting in now 24 hours later than I was supposed to. Guess what? You do as much as you can control. You figure out where you're going. You adjust, you redirect, you reroute, and you move forward. And I think sometimes we don't take the time. If you're used to it, you can do it pretty quickly in your head. I didn't realize I was asking these questions as I'm doing it. It's just a thought process I have. I automatically go through it. When I was talking to some people at work about, how do you get through these things quickly? And these were the 4 questions that we ask ourselves so that we don't get stuck, stall out, and then not be able to move forward. And we call that adaptive resilience. These 4 questions again. Where have I been? Why am I here? What can I do to control the situation now? And where am I going? It is much easier to look where you're going than to look where you've been. The windshield is a lot bigger than the rear view mirror for a reason. We are moving forward. So I hope that in the vehicle of your life that you are moving forward and driving with your eyes focused on the windshield rather than focused in the rearview mirror. I would also add this. Who are your passengers? Who are your passengers in the vehicle of life? Because you don't need all the sidebar chitter chatter conversation going on that's not helping you in the progress of moving through whatever unexpected situation has come up in your life. So be mindful, because sometimes maybe the passengers need to get out. And the only way they can get out is if you get them out. Love God. Love others. And Exercise adaptive resilience in your life so that you can move forward during the unexpected.